Welcome to this Fireside Explainer. Pull up a chair, get comfortable. Today, we're stepping away from the daily grind and the noise to explore something that is, well, deeply human and, frankly, often deeply difficult. We're talking about the courageous process of finding our way back to connection after a conflict. I'm just so glad you're here. Let's take a deep breath together and settle in. I want you to imagine a scene for a second. Picture a quiet, firelit room overlooking a gorgeous mountain valley. It's dusk, right after a heavy storm has just ripped through. The air outside is cool, it's sharp. You're sitting by the hearth, you've got a warm cup of tea in your hands. But, despite the heat of the fire, there's this lingering chill in the room. It's that heavy, quiet chill of disconnection. You know the feeling, right? You've just had a difficult conversation with someone you really care about, or maybe someone you lead. The words got sharp, defenses went up, and now there's just distance. The storm has passed, sure, but the air is literally still vibrating with what was said, and maybe, more importantly, what was left unsaid. And in that heavy quiet, a single, really important question emerges. How do we find our way back to each other? That's exactly what our conversation is going to center on today. We're going to take a purposeful, kind of meandering walk through the actual mechanics of relational repair. We're not looking for life hacks here or, corporate problem-solving strategies. We are looking for that profound, grounded movement from a rupture back to relational integrity. Let's start with our first theme, the bridge in the storm. I want you to think of your relationship as a suspension bridge spanning across that mountain valley we just pictured. A relational rupture, like a fight, a bad misunderstanding, or just a moment of sharp disconnection, is a sudden storm that violently shakes that bridge. And man, the bridge sways. It feels genuinely terrifying. But here's the thing. What keeps the bridge from completely collapsing isn't the wooden planks you walk on. It's the invisible cable system holding the whole shebang together. In our lives, that invisible cable system, that's our emotional intelligence. When a conflict hits, it's those hidden cables that are really being put to the test. Which actually brings us to our first really fresh insight. Conflict is rarely about the actual issue on the table. Instead, it's the sudden exposure of our invisible architecture being put under strain. What's so fascinating about this is that when the bridge starts violently swaying, it's not just the immediate disagreement that's causing the panic. It's actually our nervous system moving into full protection mode. It's our old, unhealed narratives rushing right in. The conflict is just exposing the invisible architecture we already carry around with us. Our fears of rejection, our need to control things, our deep-seated insecurities. So the absolutely crucial move here is to literally pause when that swaying begins. Really let this sink in for a second. When the tension starts rising in your chest, what story are you beginning to tell yourself? Are you telling yourself that you're being dismissed? That you have to fight tooth and nail just to be heard? Or maybe that you need to completely withdraw to stay safe? Recognizing that story, well, that's the very first step in stopping the bridge from swinging completely out of control.
Moving right along into our next section, empathy, boundaries, and truth.
Now, what's truly profound here is the delicate balance required to stabilize ourselves. This is our second major insight. To actually repair the bridge, we need both tenderness and structural integrity. See, empathy without boundaries, that just becomes emotional merging. We lose ourselves, we over-accommodate, we basically abandon our own truth just to make the conflict stop. But flip that around, and boundaries without empathy become relational distance. We get cold, we get rigid, and we disconnect entirely under the guise of protecting ourselves. True repair demands the emotional maturity to hold both of these at the exact same time. We have to stay open to the other person's reality without completely abandoning our own center. And that brings us to the posture of true maturity. A mature person becomes much more able to just ask, what happened here? And what was happening in me? Notice how there's absolutely no blame in those questions, no self-condemnation at all. Asking these honest questions is exactly how we keep our emotional center when the bridge is swaying. We just step back and sort of observe our own internal weather, our own contribution to the storm, without letting shame take the steering wheel.
This leads us to the practice of return.
Okay, I want to invite you to just settle in right now. Wherever you're sitting, just let your shoulders drop a bit. We're going to walk through a really simple grounding practice together called the pause of the hearth. It's just 3 steps designed to help de-escalate your nervous system before you return to a hard conversation. We're going to take this nice and slow. Step 1, Notice the activation. I want you to gently observe your physical state right now, or maybe just imagine how it feels during a heated conflict. Do you feel your breath getting shallow, a tightness in your chest, maybe a heat rising up the back of your neck? Don't judge it. Seriously, don't try to immediately fix it. Just recognize it. It is simply your body's protective reflex kicking in. It's just your nervous system doing its job, trying to keep you safe. Just notice it. Step 2. Soften the jaw. Take a real, slow, intentional breath in and let it out. Unclench your hands. Let your tongue actually fall away from the roof of your mouth. By softening these physical points of tension, you are sending a direct, incredibly powerful signal right to your nervous system. You are telling your body, hey, we're not under attack. We are safe in this moment. Let that physical resistance just melt away, even if it's just a little bit. And step 3, name the truth. With a softened body, quietly acknowledge your emotional state. You might say internally, okay, I am activated right now. I'm moving into protection mode. I just need a moment to come back. By actually naming it out loud or in your head, you create this vital, precious space between your impulse and your response. You stop being driven blindly by the storm, and you reclaim your place as the observer. As we slowly transition out of this practice, I want you to hold on to a really profound question the next time you feel that activation rising. What belongs to this moment, and what is older than this moment? It's a game changer. It helps us completely separate the immediate conflict we're having with our partner or a colleague from all those old, unhealed narratives echoing from our past. It simply brings us back to what is actually true, right here, right now. Let's look at Section 4, Repairing the Invisible Architecture. Returning to our suspension bridge metaphor from earlier, we really find the essence of relational integrity here. Repair isn't pretending the storm didn't happen, it's inspecting and reinforcing the cables together. Repair is not just offering a quick, hey, I'm sorry, just to make the awkward discomfort go away. It's actively returning to the bridge, looking at where the cable's frayed, acknowledging the actual impact we had on the other person, and doing the hard work to reinforce those connections. When we do this together, the bridge doesn't just survive the storm, it becomes structurally strong enough to hold even more weight the next time a storm rolls through. Finally, let's discuss the legacy of our presence. And this brings us to our third fresh insight for today. The future of human-centered leadership won't be measured by productivity, but by the emotional atmosphere we leave in a room after a disagreement. Think about how powerful that is. True leadership isn't about somehow magically never having conflict. Not at all. It's defined by our capacity to navigate that tension while completely preserving the dignity of everyone involved. Whether you're leading a massive global organization, a small local team, or just your own family, your legacy is the atmosphere you leave behind when the bridge finally stops swaying. Did you make it safe to tell the truth? Did you actually repair the rupture? And so as our fire burns down to embers today, I want to leave you with a quiet invitation to carry into your week. May we hold the truth without losing our tenderness. The very next time the storm shakes your bridge, remember to pause, soften that jaw, and return to yourself. I'll leave you with one final thought to ponder by your own fire tonight. If your leadership legacy is entirely defined by how you handle the repair, what kind of bridge are you building today? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep practicing, keep returning, and I will see you next time.